Surat An-Naba, the news. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. About what they are asking one another. Is it about the awesome news that they dispute? Nay, soon they will know. Indeed, very soon they will know. Didn't we make the earth a vast expanse, the mountains like mighty stakes? Didn't we create you in pairs, made your sleep for resting, made the night a covering, and made the day for earning a livelihood? Didn't we build 7 durable skies over your head, the sun a brightly burning lamp, and sent down abundant rain pouring from storm clouds? So we produced cereals, plants, and gardens of dense greenery. The time for the day of distinction is fixed, when the trumpet will be blown, and you will come in crowds that day, when the sky is opened becoming a gateway, and the mountains will move as if they were a mirage. Hell lies in waiting to receive the disobedient, their home. They will live there for ages and ages. There will be nothing cool to taste, nor anything to drink, except boiling water and a dark, foul fluid. A fitting reward, since they never expected any kind of accounting and denied our scriptures. Yet we took account of everything in a book. So it will be said to them, taste the punishment. We won't add anything except punishment for you. The mindful will have a splendid success, gardens, vineyards, beautiful young companions of similar ages, and an overflowing cup. They won't hear idle talk or lies, a fitting reward and a gift from your Lord, Lord of the heavens and the earth, and what is between the two. The Most Kind will not allow them to speak on the day when the Spirit Jibreel and other angels will stand in rows. They won't speak either without the Most Kind's permission, and they will speak the truth. That's the day of truth. So anyone who wishes, let him take the road leading to his Lord. We certainly warned you of a punishment so near, the day when every person will see what their own hands have produced. And the disbeliever will say, oh, I wish I were dust. Surat Al-Naziat, the Snatchers. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the angels who snatch human souls, the angels who take away human souls nimbly, the angels floating naturally, the angels speeding ahead, the angels managing heavenly affairs. You will certainly be resurrected. On the day the trumpet is sounded for the first time, then followed by the second blast, hearts will beat fast that day, their eyes downcast. Today, they ask, will we be returned to our previous state, even when we are rotten bones? Commenting on it, they say, that would be a useless exercise. It will only take a single trumpet blast, and they will be back on open ground. Has the story of Musa reached you? When his Lord called out to him in the blessed valley of Tawa, go to the Pharaoh, he is arrogant, and say to him, would you like to purify yourself spiritually? I shall guide you to your Lord so that you may be mindful. So he showed him the greatest miracle, but he denied and disobeyed, then turned his back and rushed to gather together the magicians and announced, I am your highest Lord. So Allah punished him by making an example of him in this world and the hereafter. There are lessons for the one who fears his Lord. Are you more difficult to create, or the sky which he raised up? He raised its canopy and perfected it, and darkened its night, and brought about bright morning light, and the earth after that, which he spread out. He produced its spring water and its green pastures. He fixed the mountains in their place. All this is a provision for you and your animals to feed. So when the mighty catastrophe comes, the day when man will remember what he accomplished, when he will see clearly the blazing flames, then the one who was disobedient and preferred the worldly life, the blazing fire will be his home. But the one who feared standing before his Lord and stopped himself from following his lusts, he will be at home in paradise. They ask you, Prophet, about the hour. What is its fixed time? What can you tell them about that? Only your Lord knows its fixed time. You are a warner for the one who fears it. The day they see it, they'll realize the worldly life was only an evening or a morning. Surat Abasa, the frowning. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. He frowned and turned away when the blind man came to him. For all you know, he might have developed spiritually or listened, and the reminder would have benefited him. But as for the one who thinks he is self-sufficient, you paid special attention to him. You aren't responsible if he fails to purify himself spiritually. But as for the one who came rushing to you whilst fearful of his Lord, you ignored him. Indeed, the Quran is a reminder for him who wants to be reminded. It is kept in scrolls which are honored, raised and purified, written by the hands of angels who are noble and righteous. Humans have ruined themselves due to their unthankfulness. What sort of thing did he create them from? A drop of semen. He created them, then assigned their destiny. Then by making their way smooth in life, enabled them. Then he lets them die and be buried. Then when he wants, he shall resurrect them. Unfortunately, they didn't do what Allah commanded them. So let humans look at the food closely. We let the rain pour down, then we split open the ground to produce cereals, grapes, vegetation, olives, date palms, densely populated orchards, fruits and fodder as provision for them and their animals. When the deafening blast comes, that day a person will flee from his brother, his mother, his father, his spouse and his children. That day everyone will be concerned about themselves. Some faces that day will be shining, laughing and rejoicing, but other faces that day will be covered with dust, darkness restricting them, the darkened faces of the disobedient disbelievers. Surat At-Takwir, the shrouding. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. When the sun is shrouded, when the stars are dimmed, when the mountains are moved, when pregnant camels are left unattended, when wild beasts are gathered, when the seas are boiled, when the souls are paired, when the baby girl buried alive is asked for which crime she was murdered, when the scrolls of deeds are unrolled, and when a layer of the sky is removed, when hell is set ablaze, when paradise is brought near, then everyone will know what they achieved or failed to achieve in life. So, I swear by the shining stars, by the dying stars, by the fall of the night, by the morning breeze. Certainly, the Quran is the word of a noble angel, Jibreel, who possesses immense power and has a firmly established rank with the possessor of the divine throne, who is obeyed by other angels and is trustworthy. Your companion Muhammad is not crazy. He saw him on the horizon clearly. He doesn't hide the news of the unseen. It isn't the word of a rejected devil. So where are you going? It's a reminder for everyone, especially for the one who longs to be guided on the straight path. But how can you long for it unless Allah, the Lord of the worlds, so wills to show you that way? Surat Al-Infitar, the cleaving. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. When the sky is cleaved, when the stars are scattered, when the oceans surge and merge, when the graves are turned inside out, that day every person will know what it did and what it failed to do. People, what deceived you from your generous Lord? He created you, assigned you a provision, and perfected you with a beautifully shaped physical appearance as He pleased. Yet you still deny the judgment? The guardians standing over you are the noble scribes who know what you do. The righteous will enjoy the delights of paradise, and the wicked will be damned in hell. They will burn in it on Judgment Day, and they won't ever be able to leave. What can explain to you the reality of the Day of Judgment? Again, what can explain to you the reality of Judgment Day? The day when no one will be able to do anything for another person. Only Allah's command will prevail that day. Surat Al-Mutaffifin, the cheats. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Woe to the cheats, the ones who demand full measure from people, but when they measure and weigh for others, they give less. Don't those double dealers believe they will be resurrected on a grand day, the day when people will stand before the Lord of the worlds? The written record of the wicked is in Sijjin. And what can explain Sijjin to you? It is a written document. It will be too bad for the deniers that day, who deny Judgment Day. Only the wicked transgressor denies it. When our scriptures are read to him, he says, "These are fables of the ancients." Moreover, their hearts are coated with rust because of what they did. Never. On that day they will be shut out from seeing their Lord. Then they will burn in hell. It will be said to them, "This is what you used to deny." The written record of the righteous is kept in Iliyin. And what can explain Iliyin to you? It is a written record, which is witnessed by those brought close to Allah. The righteous will be enjoying the delights of paradise, sitting relaxed on sofas, watching the tranquil scenery. You will see brightness on their faces in paradise. They will be served sealed wine, pure musk its aftertaste. Let the competitors compete for that, mixed with the water of tasneem, a spring from which those brought close to Allah will drink. The wicked used to laugh at the believers when they passed by them. They would wink to each other teasingly. Back with their families, they made fun of them. And when they saw them, they would say, "These are misguided," though they weren't sent as their guardians. But today, the believers are laughing at the disbelievers, sitting on the sofas watching them in misery. Have the disbelievers not been repaid for what they used to do? Surat Al-Inshikak, the splitting open. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. When the sky splits open, duly obeying its Lord. When the earth is flattened and throws out its contents and becomes empty, duly obeying its Lord. People, you strive and struggle throughout your lives towards your Lord. Eventually you will meet Him. So anyone given the written record in his right hand will have an easy reckoning and will return happily to his family. But anyone who is given the written record from behind his back will cry out for death and will burn in the blazing fire. He used to be happy amid his family. He was convinced he wouldn't return to his Lord. Yes, his Lord was watching him. So I swear by the red horizon at sunset, and by the night and all it covers up, and by the full moon. You will develop stage by stage. What's the matter with them that they don't believe? And when the Quran is recited to them, they don't prostrate. The disbelievers deny. Allah knows best what they hide in their minds. So give them good news of a painful punishment. except for those who believe and do righteous deeds. For them, there is a never-ending reward. Surat Al-Buruj, the constellations. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the sky full of constellations, by the promised day, by a witness and what it witnessed. Cursed are the diggers of the trench, who lit the well-fueled fire when they sat around it, watching what they were doing to the believers. They punished them because they believed in Allah, the Almighty, the Praiseworthy, the one who controls all things in the heavens and the earth, and Allah is the witness of everything. The persecutors of the believing men and women didn't repent, so they will be punished in hell, in the burning flames. The believers who were righteous will have gardens of paradise, beneath which rivers flow. That will be the great achievement. Your Lord's punishment will be severely harsh. He started the creation and will reproduce it once more. He is the forgiving, the most loving, possessor of the majestic throne, the most able to carry out what He pleases. Has the story of the armies reached you about the Pharaoh and Thamud? Yet the disbelievers are still in denial, while Allah surrounds them from all sides. But this is a majestic reading in the protected tablet. Surat Al-Tariq, the night visitor. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the sky and the night visitor. What can explain the night visitor to you? A piercing comet. There is a keeper over every person. Let humans look at what they were created from. They were created from spurted semen that comes from bodily organs in the torso. Allah is fully able to return them to life. On the day when secrets will be exposed, they won't have any power and no helper. By the sky and its repeated rain cycle, and the earth splitting open with new growth. Indeed, this majestic Quran is a decisive speech. No joking matter. They are continually plotting, and I have a plan too. Messenger, put up with the disbelievers. Let them off for a short while. Surat Al-Ala, the highest. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Glorify the name of your Lord, the Most High, who created and made you complete, who fixed destiny and gave guidance, who produced green pasture, then turned it into dry, dusty debris. We will teach you the Quran so you will not forget it. Accept what Allah may wish. He knows the open and the hidden. We shall make your journey easy, so give reminder. The reminder is beneficial. The one in awe of his Lord will listen, but the wicked will ignore. He will burn in the great fire, no dying and no living. Successful indeed is the one who purifies himself and remembers the name of his Lord and performs the prayer regularly. You prefer the worldly life, yet the hereafter is far better and everlasting. This fact is also mentioned in the previous scriptures and in the scriptures of Ibrahim and Musa. Surat Al-Ghashiyah, the awe-inspiring event. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Has news of the awe-inspiring event reached you? Some faces that day will be humble, looking tired and exhausted. They will burn in an intensely hot fire and drink from a boiling water spring. They will have no food except bitter thorns, which won't nourish or satisfy their hunger. Some faces that day will be beautiful and bright, well pleased with their efforts, living in an elegant garden where they won't fear any idle chat, watered by a flowing spring, furnished with raised and comfortable sofas, wine glasses gracefully arranged, silken cushions set in rows, and luxurious soft carpets laid all around. Don't they see the camels, how they were created, and the sky, how it was raised, and the mountains, how they were fixed, and at the earth, how it was spread out? So remind, Prophet, your job is to remind. You aren't their controller. The one who turned away and disbelieved, Allah will give him terrible punishment. They will finally return to us, and we will call them to account. Surat Al-Fajr, the dawn. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the dawn, by the 10 holy nights, by the even and the odd numbers, and by the night as it slips away. Isn't there a convincing oath for an intelligent person? Haven't you considered how your Lord dealt with the people of Ad, of Iram with its lofty pillars, the likes of which haven't existed in other lands, and the people of Thamud, who carved homes out of rocks in the valley, and the Pharaoh, his temples with massive columns, those who transgressed in the lands, who brought about havoc throughout them. Your Lord let loose a scourge of suffering against them. Your Lord is ever watchful. The mortal man, when his Lord tests him with honor and blessings, says, "My Lord has honored me." However, when he tests him by lessening his provision, he says, "My Lord has shamed me." On the contrary, it is you Makkans who don't honor orphans and don't urge others to feed the needy, while you consume the whole of the orphan's inheritance with your insatiable love of wealth. So how will you fare when the earth is ground to dust, and your Lord makes his majestic appearance, and the angels standing in rows upon rows? That day, hell will be brought close. People will then remember, but how will remembering benefit them now? They will say, "If only we had something to show for our lives." Then on that day, he will punish as no one will ever punish, and he will chain them as no one will ever chain. Allah will say, "O happy soul, return to your Lord cheerfully and loved. Now join the company of my servants and come into my paradise." Surat Al-Balad, the city. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. I swear by this city where you live freely, and by a father and all his offspring. Every human we created experiences hardship. Does he really think no one has control over him? He boasts, "I have spent a huge amount of wealth." Does he really think no one has seen him? Haven't we given him 2 eyes, a tongue, and 2 lips? We showed him the 2 steep paths of good and evil. He hasn't yet set foot on the steep mountain track. What can explain to you the mountain track? It is to free a slave, to feed on a day of severe hunger an orphan relative, or a penniless and distressed person. Only then is he a believer, who instruct each other to be patient and kind. They will get book of deeds in the right hand, but those who denied our signs will get it in the left hand, the fire closing in around them. Surat Al-Shams, the sun. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the sun and its morning brightness, by the moon that follows it, by the day that it brightens up, by the night that covers it, by the sky and Him who designed it, by the earth and Him who leveled it out, by the human and Him who perfected him, so inspired him to follow either its vice or virtue. Whoever purified himself succeeded, and whoever was immoral failed himself. The people of Thamud cruelly treated their messenger when the most wicked among them was dispatched against him. Allah's messenger told him, "Let Allah's she-camel have her share of the water." But they denied him and hamstrung her. So due to this crime their Lord destroyed them. He didn't fear its consequences. Surat Al-Layl, the night. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the night as it conceals, by the day as it reveals, by the male and the female He created. Indeed, your works are different from each other's. So the one who gives is mindful of Allah and believes in common good. We shall make his work easy. But for the miserly, who thinks he is self-sufficient and denies common good, we shall make his work difficult. His wealth will not benefit him when he falls into hell. Our role is to provide guidance. The hereafter and the world are ours. I have warned you about a raging fire where the wicked will burn, who denied and turned away. But the one who was mindful will be kept away from it. He gave his wealth in charity to purify himself, not as a payment for favors received, but longed for the pleasure of his Lord, the Highest, and He will be pleased with the outcome. Surah Ad-Duha, the morning brightness. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the brightness of mid-morning, by the darkness of the night. Your Lord hasn't deserted you, nor is He displeased with you. Your future will be better than the past, and your Lord will give you so much that you will be well pleased. Didn't He find you an orphan and shelter you? Didn't He find you absorbed in divine love and guide you? And didn't He find you needy and made you rich? So don't be nasty with the orphan, nor chase away the beggar, and speak positively about the gifts of your Lord. Surah Al-Inshirah, the expansion. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Didn't we expand your chest and lifted your burden, which was breaking your back? We raised high your honor. Indeed, every hardship is followed by ease. Once you finish your daily chores, seek your Lord passionately in worship. Surah At-Teen, the fig. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the fig, by the olive, by Mount Sinai and this safe city, we created humans in the most beautiful form, then reduced them to the lowest of the lows due to the disobedience, except those who believed and performed honorable deeds. They shall have a never-ending reward. So after knowing this, what makes you deny Judgment Day? Isn't Allah the most just judge? Surat Al-Alaq, the clot of blood. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Recite in the name of your Lord who created humans from clustered germ cells. Recite, your Lord is the most generous, who taught with the pen. He taught humans what they didn't know. But humans go beyond boundaries of Allah, considering themselves to be self-sufficient. Yet the final return is to your Lord. Have you seen the one who stops a servant of ours from praying? Don't you realize he is rightly guided and issues commands based on fear of Allah? Have you considered when he denies the truth and turns away? Doesn't he know Allah sees everything? No. If he doesn't end his behavior, we shall drag him by the forelock, that lying and sinful forelock. So let him call out to his supporters. We shall summon the angel guards at the gates of hell to take care of him. No, don't follow him, Prophet, but prostrate before us and draw ever closer. Surah Al-Qadr, the Night of Destiny. In the name of Allah, the Kind, the Caring. We sent down the Quran on the night of destiny. And what can explain the night of destiny to you? The night of destiny is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the spirit Jibreel come down by the order of their Lord, bringing with them each person's destiny. Peace descends everywhere until the break of dawn. Surah Al-Bayyinah, the clear proof. In the name of Allah, the Kind, the Caring. The disbelievers among the people of the book and the idolaters were not condemned until the clear proof had come to them. The Messenger of Allah recited pages of pure teachings from the Quran, containing clear commandments. Those given the book became divided after the clear proof had come to them. They were commanded, worship Allah sincerely, turn away from false gods, establish the prayer, and pay the zakat. That is the religion of truth. The disbelievers from the people of the book and the idolaters will be in the hellfire forever. These are the worst of the creatures. The believers who did righteous works are the best of the creatures. Their reward is with the Lord, gardens of Eden beneath which rivers flow. They will live there forever. Allah is pleased with them, and they're pleased with Him. That's for the one who fears his Lord. Surah Al-Zilzal, the earthquake. In the name of Allah, the Kind, the Caring. When the earth is shaken violently, it will throw up its burden. People will ask, what is the matter with her? That day, it will tell all its news as inspired by her Lord. That day, people will come in separate groups to be shown their deeds. So whoever did an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoever did an atom's weight of evil will see it too. Surah Al-Adiyat, the war horses. In the name of Allah, the Kind, the Caring. By the snorting war horses, their hooves striking sparks, charging in dawn raids, scattering dust clouds, then dashing into the center of the enemy. Humans are most unthankful to their Lord. They're a witness to this and passionately love wealth. Don't they know everything in the graves will be thrown out, and the secrets of hearts will be revealed? That day their Lord will be aware of them. Surah Al-Qariyah, the sudden calamity. In the name of Allah, the Kind, the Caring. The sudden calamity. What is the sudden calamity? What can explain the reality of the sudden calamity to you? The day when people will look lost like scattered moths, and the mountains will sway like fluffy wool. So the one who has heavy scales of deeds will have a happy life, but the one who has light scales of deeds will have a bottomless pit as his home. What can explain what it looked like to you? A blazing fire. Surat At-Takathur, the competition for more and more. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. The competition for more and more wealth preoccupied you until you went down to your graves. Surely you will know. Eventually you will understand, if only you had knowledge of certainty. You will certainly see hell. You will see it with the eye of certainty. That day you will be questioned about all the pleasures. Surat Al-Asr, the age. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the age, humans are at a loss, except the believers who are righteous and encourage each other to be truthful and patient. Surat Al-Humazah, the fault finder. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Wretched is every backbiting fault finder who gathers wealth and counts it over and over, thinking his wealth will make him live forever. No, he will be thrown into the crusher. And what can explain to you what the crusher is? Allah's blazing fire, which rises over their hearts. Indeed, it is closed over them from all sides, flames stretching out in columns. Surat Al-Fil, the elephant. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the army of the elephant? Didn't He smash their plan? When He sent down a flock of birds against them, which pelted them with hard stones of baked clay, and then turned them into what looked like chewed hay. Surat Al-Quraysh, the tribe of Quraysh. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. By the Quraysh's feeling of security, their security in the winter and summer journeys. Therefore they should worship the Lord of this house, the Kaaba, who feeds them, protects them from famine, and gives them safety from fear. Surat Al-Ma'un, small kindness. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Have you considered the person who denies the judgment? He treats an orphan roughly and doesn't feel the urge to feed the needy. So ruined are the worshippers who are daydreaming when praying, who merely show off and even stop doing small kindnesses. Surat Al-Kawthar, the abundance. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. We gave everything in abundance to you. Therefore pray to your Lord and make a sacrifice. Your enemy will be finished, cut off. Surat Al-Kafirun, the disbelievers. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Say, disbelievers, I don't worship what you worship, neither are you worshippers of what I worship. Nor will I be a worshipper of what you have worshipped, neither will you be worshippers of what I worship. For you is your religion, and for me is mine. Surat Al-Nasr, the help. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. When Allah's help and the victory comes, and you see masses of people entering Allah's religion, then glorify and praise your Lord and seek His forgiveness. He is ever ready to accept repentance. Surat Al-Lahab, the flames. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. May Abu Lahab's hands be paralyzed and may he be ruined. Neither his wealth nor what he earned will help him. Soon he will burn in the flaming fire, so will his wife, the firewood carrier. She will have a rope of palm fiber around her neck. Surat Al-Ikhlas, sincere faith. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Say, He is Allah, the One, Allah, the Eternal. He is not a father nor a son. None is equal to Him. Surat Al-Falaq, the daybreak. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, from the evil of what He created, from the evil of the ever-darkening night, from the evil of witches that blow on knots, and from the evil of a jealous person when jealous. Surat Al-Nas, the people. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the people, the King of the people, the God of the people, from the evil of the sneaking whisperer, who whispers into people's hearts and minds, from among the jinn and the people. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings with you all. Thank you for visiting our channel. Please remember us in your du'as. If you enjoyed listening to this translation of the Holy Quran, please consider subscribing and sharing our efforts with everyone and anyone. May Allah accept this effort of ours as sadaqah for us and our loved ones and make it a means of our success in this life and the Akhira. Ameen, summa Ameen.